All right, welcome back everyone. Today on The Explainer, we are going on seriously the most epic, magical journey you could possibly imagine. We are talking about traveling far, far beyond the stars, way past the galaxies, straight into this incredible hidden world. A world filled with, get this, golden light, giant wishing trees, and some massive mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. So let's jump right into this magical cosmic explainer and discover a universe that's going to absolutely blow your mind.
Let me start by throwing a huge question your way. Can you imagine a world that literally never gets dark, even without the sun or the moon or electricity? Seriously, just think about that for a second. In our world, the second the sun goes down, we have to flip on the lights, right? Otherwise, it gets super spooky and pitch black. But what if there was a place where true eternal light just naturally glows everywhere, all the time? Where on Earth, or rather, where in the universe does that kind of light even come from? Let's find out.
To understand this, ancient texts actually describe our own universe in a pretty bizarre but fascinating way. They talk about this mystical tree called the Asphatha tree. But hold on, it's not your average tree. It is literally upside down. It's an upside-down banyan tree. Its roots point all the way up into the highest parts of the cosmos, and its branches actually grow downwards. According to the text, this upside-down tree represents the kind of confusing, tangled material universe that we're living in right now.
Now you might be wondering, why is it upside down? Well, think about what happens when you stand by a lake and look at a tree on the shore. The reflection in the water is upside down, right? Our text tells us that our physical universe is basically just an upside-down temporary reflection of a real magical spiritual realm. Our world is fueled by our everyday desires, kind of like that reflection just shivering on the water. But the real world above, that is an eternal, completely self-illuminated reality.
So, how do we actually get out of this tangled, watery reflection? The text lays out 3 specific steps. First, you just have to understand that this world is a reflection. Second, you got to use what they call the weapon of detachment. Basically, that means learning not to be super greedy or overly attached to temporary things, like toys or video games that are eventually going to break anyway. And third, the text says you have to actively seek out your true, permanent home. You've got to look up from the water. The texts explain something super cool. You aren't just a physical body. You are actually a soul. They tell us that every single living being is this eternal, magical spark. You're literally a tiny fragment of the Supreme. Right now, sure, you're wearing a physical body, kind of like a spacesuit, to explore this reflected world, and you're dealing with your 6 senses, including your mind. But deep down, the ancient writings say you are an eternal spark of pure magic. And this spark goes on a really incredible journey. Listen to this beautiful quote from the source. Like air carries aromas, the soul carries conceptions of life from one body to another. Think about it like this. When someone's baking chocolate chip cookies in the kitchen, you can smell them all the way in your room, right? The air carries that sweet smell. In the exact same way, the eternal soul carries its thoughts and desires from one body to the next on this grand cosmic journey. The crucial point here is that not everyone can actually see this happening. The texts contrast 2 totally different ways of seeing things. People who are confused by the upside-down tree, the texts call them the foolish. They can't see the soul moving. They think when the body's gone, that's it, everything's gone. But those who have developed what's called the eyes of knowledge by learning from great spiritual teachers, they can clearly see this incredible hidden journey of the soul.
Okay, let's pivot our cosmic tour for a second and look a little closer at our own universe. Where does all the power and light in our physical world really come from? I mean, we see the sun shining, the moon glowing, fire burning, but what is the actual ultimate power source behind all these everyday phenomena? Let's investigate.
The ancient verses give us an absolutely incredible answer to this. The immense splendor of the sun that totally destroys the darkness every single morning, the gentle, nourishing glow of the moon at night, and the crazy heat and energy of fire, they don't just happen by accident. The text says they all originate from one single supreme source. Basically, the Supreme Person is the ultimate battery powering our entire solar system, and it gets even more amazing. Have you ever wondered how all these massive planets just stay up in the sky? Like, why don't they just crash into each other? The text describes this epic cosmic magic. A powerful force from the Supreme literally enters each and every planet, holding them up in their orbits. It describes it as being just like dust held safely inside a giant closed fist. If that fist were to open, the planets would just scatter like dust in the wind. Now that is some serious cosmic magic. But this magic isn't just way out there in deep space. The text says it's actually right here in your everyday life too.
The Supreme powers the moonlight, which, believe it or not, actually supplies the juice to make your vegetables grow and taste delicious. And when you eat those veggies, it's the fire of digestion, which is also powered by the Supreme, that processes your food. Even your memory, your knowledge, and your forgetfulness are guided by this ultimate source. It is literally all connected.
The ultimate destination, crossing into the spiritual sky. All right, this brings us to the central, absolutely most important part of our explainer today. We're looking at a magnificent verse from the ancient text, the Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 15, verse 6. It gives us the ultimate description of Goloka Vrindavan, which is the Supreme's personal, self-illuminated, eternal spiritual realm. This is that magical realm we were talking about, far, far beyond our temporary universe. Listen to these beautiful, powerful words. That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. Wow. According to this verse, in the spiritual world, they don't even need light bulbs, they don't need lamps, and they don't even need the sun. Why? Because everything there just naturally glows with its own pure, golden white spiritual light.
Let's take a little peek inside this supreme abode as it's described in the texts. What's it actually like? Well, it's a captivating, completely glowing realm. Literally everything radiates light. The trees, the paths, the people. It's described as being filled with these beautiful, magical forests, wish-fulfilling trees, transcendental cows, and sparkling lotus lakes. And best of all, the texts say there's no sadness, no getting old, and no fighting. It is just filled with eternal happiness, harmony, and pure loving exchanges with the Supreme Person, Krishna, who plays a magical flute.
And here is definitely the most incredible promise of the whole thing. Those who reach it never return to this material world. This means that once a soul travels back to this permanent, glowing homeland, they never have to come back down to the temporary, upside-down reflection where things break, people get sick, and we have to struggle. It is literally an eternal happily ever after.
When the texts compare the two worlds side by side, the difference is just massive. The material universe is temporary. It's an upside-down reflection. It's totally dependent on the sun and electricity, and yeah, it involves a lot of struggle. But the spiritual sky? That's the eternal, self-luminous reality. It's completely independent, naturally glowing, and full of pure bliss and fun. So I mean, which one sounds like the real home to you?
So how does the text actually say we get there? It gives us a pretty clear roadmap. First, be free from false pride and escape the illusion that you own the world because, well, it all belongs to the Supreme. It also suggests breaking away from false temporary attachments, literally letting go of the branches of that upside-down tree. And finally, surrendering to the Supreme, letting Him be your true guide on the journey.
To practice this every day, the Gita suggests listening to authentic spiritual knowledge, which is exactly what you're doing right now by tuning in. It also advises associating with devoted, positive people who love the Supreme, and engaging in daily devotional service, like singing, reading, or offering your food with love. Doing these things gradually elevates your soul higher and higher toward that glowing sky.
And don't worry, the texts make it super clear that you don't have to make this journey alone. This magical Supreme isn't just far away playing a flute in the glowing sky. The Supreme is actually seated right within everyone's heart, acting as your ultimate eternal guide. He's right there giving you the memory and the knowledge to help you find your way back home.
Finding our real home. Awakening from the reflection.
So, my young explorers, I want to leave you with this final, super important question based on everything we've covered today. Are you ready to turn your gaze away from the upside-down reflection? Are you ready to start your journey toward the self-illuminated sky, toward your real eternal home? The invitation is completely open, and the cosmic journey is waiting for you. To help you on your way, I want to end this explainer by sharing a super powerful, ancient, magical sound vibration. It's called the Maha Mantra, and singing it helps clear that watery reflection and guides your spark right back to the Supreme. It goes like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Keep this magic in your heart, keep looking up, and I will see you on our next incredible adventure.